Hello guys, welcome back. Episode 8 now. The ninth one will be our predictions of the Champions League and Europa League final. That's come around quickly, considering we had
Yeah, it
5 months
has.
off. We're probably a shorter one. We're just going to go through the quarterfinals of both European competitions. Start off with Europa League. First two games that were played were Inter Milan, Leverkusen, and Man United, Copenhagen. Let's start with the United game. They won 1-0 after extra time, a penalty, 95th minute.
Surprise!
Yep. Copenhagen didn't have a shot on target in 120 minutes.
Did they actually not?
No, there was. I'm pretty sure that was
I
the
should have
stat.
known that because I was watching the game, but
They-
their keeper was
thing
just
is,
absolutely unbelievable.
Copenhagen plays very well, and I always thought that Man United, if it got to extra time, they would have the extra players and the mentality to get the win. But as soon as it went extra time, the defender who'd played so well all game just goes, right, Martial to the floor. It was a penalty, though. It was, to be fair. But
It was. It's one of them where if you look at it, it's given against you, like, well, that's really
Yeah.
soft. But it is.
And then Inter Milan by Leverkusen. I thought the Man United game would be the one with like the end to end. I mean, it was to end to end, but the Inter Milan Leverkusen was, I don't know what was happening. Inter got denied 2 penalties from VAR. They still won 2-1. Lukaku should have scored 5. Leverkusen's keeper kept them in. Leverkusen could have had 4 themselves. It was a very, very good game. Did you see any of it?
No, I was in the pub watching Man United Copenhagen, so I didn't see that game. But I remember you texting me after 25 minutes or so saying, "Oh my God, the Inter Milan game's absolutely mental."
It was.
And meanwhile, I was watching Man United Copenhagen 0-0 for 100 and God knows how many minutes.
But all 3 goals were scored within 25 minutes, and because they were the Man United, Copenhagen, and Inter were like side by side on the channel, I was flicking back and forth. Every time I flicked back to the Inter game, one of the sides was just charging up the field. It was great. But Inter, Man United through to the semi-finals. Then we go to Tuesday. We'll see who we'll be facing. The winner of the Shakhtar Basel game would play Inter. Winner of Wolves Sevilla would play Man United. Wolves Sevilla, watched it with my dad because he supports Wolves. He even said himself they didn't play like they should have got there. As we said in the previous podcast, it would either be the Wolves team that beat City 3-2 after being 2-0 down, or the team that got demolished by Chelsea. And the team that got demolished by Chelsea showed up. They didn't play that well, and then Sevilla got a goal late on. It was probably
it's heartbreaking way to go out. I mean, Wolves didn't play well in the second half at all, but I mean, for Jimenez, how reliable he's been all season, been unbelievable form all year for them, and it's probably the most crucial penalty he's ever taken. And it's a really tough way to go out. But I mean, that's what we said, isn't it? These one-legged ties. That's it. It can all change in a moment. So.
And yet again, Sevilla, it sort of is their tournament. The 5-time winners in the semi-final again.
Against United.
Yeah. The thing for Wolves now, though, is players no European football at all. They've slapped a 150 million price tag on Traore.
Oh, not much then.
Yeah. But yeah, like Jimenez, Traore, Neves will be looked at because they are quality players and no European football. Who knows? And then Shakhtar Basel. I remember us talking and being like, oh, Basel walked through Frankfurt, got the 3 away goals before everything happened. Could be a close game. Nah, Shakhtar would just smash them 4-1. They were 4-0 up. And then Basel got 1 goal back. Well,
yeah, I was watching the Wolves game in the pub. It just like kept going up at the bottom of the screen. It was like Shakhtar 1, Shakhtar 2, Shakhtar 3. I was like, well, that prediction for Basel hasn't quite gone to plan.
But the predictions were a bit all over the place. But Shakhtar, I saw the highlights. They looked strong. It will be, obviously, I think Inter, with the quality they have, should get the job done and get to the final. But it may be a good game.
What score are you saying for Inter Milan versus Shakhtar then on Monday?
I think it'll be a 2-0. Shakhtar will have some chances, but I think Inter 2-0. So Sevilla, Man United,
I think Shakhtar will score.
Oh, yeah.
I think it will be. I'm going to go 3-1. I think they'll get a goal, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think Inter will be too strong on
And
the
then
night.
Man United Sevilla. I think it could go all the way to penalties. You know.
I mean,
I
it
think
honestly
it.
wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
Yeah.
I was looking at like what I was going to predict for it of like the recent form of how they've both been performing in the Europa League, and to be honest, I mean both teams haven't been exactly great.
No.
So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a 0-0 the entire way through them
Mm.
went to penalties. But
I
I
think so, I think
think
because it's their competition. I don't know. I just feel like I think Sevilla will win. Don't know how they'll do it. What
yeah,
it'll be
I
90,
think they'll nick a
120.
goal late on.
Yeah, I think Sevilla. And then the
That's
final.
it for Europa
Yeah,
League.
that's Europa League. Right. Champions League. We're going to work back from the most recent game to the first game. Most recent game, Man City Leon. As we
Oh,
both said you said jokingly Leon, and then you were like, nah, I think City will. I said that were maybe too strong. Oh no, Leon won 3-1. Um, Before we go through everything that you got written down, I'll say one, Pep, what on earth are you doing playing 7 defensive-minded outfield players and playing 5 at the back? Either play the team that beat Real Madrid and did it pretty comfortably, to be honest. Apart from Benzema's goal, I didn't feel any real pressure. Or play 4 at the back in the system that has got us lots of goals. Even I know Liverpool just won the league, but we scored 4 against you. We scored technically 5, and then the VR gave away 1. But look at how we played that game with our system. But no, he puts the guy who's just won Premier League Player of the Season out on left wing, and he looked angry. And his interview on BT afterwards, he was like, "Same stuff, different year." And the way he was speaking, you can see his tone of voice. He was like, "I'm almost done here," and I was
yeah.
crushed. I think I'm scared that he might go because he needs.
What really?
But that's the trophy everyone wants, and every season he puts his heart and soul into it. When he
Yeah.
scored that goal, you could see he was like, finally, and then everything just fell apart. And because he's not a defender, he can't do, and he's doing so much up front.
Yeah.
He played the ball to Jesus that went to Sterling, and Sterling could have made it 2-2. But I don't know who would have him because the only team right now in Europe that I feel deserve him is Bayern Munich because everyone else
Yeah.
isn't good enough. But that interview got me scared.
I mean, speaking of people like potentially leaving and worried about, I mean, where does this leave Pep Guardiola's future?
Well, I feel that because of the signings he's done and everything, I feel like, and I guess I'll take into consideration is the type of tournament it was, and because it was whatever. I feel like he may have 1 year left, but if you're brought in by an employer to do one thing in a job and you can't do it in 4 years, the employer's going to start looking at you, especially with the club Man City are trying to be. We got further in the Champions League with Manuel Pellegrini as our manager and Dimachelis and Mangala as our defenders.
That is a dream centre back
So
partnership right now.
Pep's got to. Okay, yeah, we may have lost to Bayern, but that would have been respectable losing to a Bayern team who, just as we will speak on, battered Barcelona. I feel that Pep should be very nervous.
The thing is, though, if you do get rid of him, who would you bring in? Who's out there that you look at and you think, you know something?
Allegri, because he's the only.
Right.
He would be the only. Off the top of my head, is the only one that I can think of because no one
Poch?
else. Maybe, but I don't know. I feel there's going to be a lot of questions because that when you score 4 against the newly crowned Premier League champions and you score 5, 6 in a game across the league quite a few times, why then change what you know best to fit someone else? And it didn't even work because they scored 3. They scored 1 when there was just a long ball over the top. It did nothing about the 5 at the back and then 2 holding defensive midfielders worked at all. And then people were going, "Oh, but VAR screwed City over." take that goal away. We still only scored 1. They scored 2. We still lost.
I mean, it's just really fine margins, isn't it? We've said that the entire way through with this competition. I mean, you look at, like you mentioned before, the Sterling miss. Yeah. I mean, how he missed it, I have no idea.
I don't understand.
I don't want to be like, Liverpool bias when I say it, but like that was always my thing. Like even when he played for us, was that he always seemed to struggle scoring the easiest chances that I think even I could score. Oh, I probably wouldn't be in that position, but but it's always the difficult ones he seems to do well in, like making a chance out of nothing and getting goals. Whereas the complete tap-ins, he just seems to almost like, I don't even know how to describe it. And then obviously 59 seconds they've gone down the other end and scored to make it 3-1.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he scored 31 goals this season in all competitions. So he's grown as a striker and a scorer of goals. But there still is that little bit where you're just like, he gets into the positions, but then he like freezes up and just scoops as he did. And you just get the feeling. And then there's always, there's this big question, the what if Aguero was fit?
Mm-hmm.
Because he probably would have been in that position, or we would have scored different. But oh well, we're going to go again next year. Probably get to the quarterfinals and bottle it again. But you know, it hasn't been the greatest for either of our clubs. But you guys went out to an Atletico Madrid side who were very compact and strong, and he did have your first team goalie, and he did make a few errors for the goals. So I feel
poor Adrian is still getting stick for that today.
Yours is more respectable than ours. But anyway, next game, the game that everyone thought, 2 giants of Europe, going to be a close game. Was I cooking at the time? I believe I might have been, making pancakes at the time.
Lovely.
Yeah. And then my dad keeps running in and out, going, there's been a goal. Go and sit back down. Been another goal. I'm like, right, what's happening here then? Been another goal. Been another goal. And on and on and on. And I'm like, right, what on earth is happening? And as we know, Bayern Munich won 8-2 against Barcelona.
They were just absolutely ruthless, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, watching it, the first 15 minutes, Barca had some really good chances where, like, Bayern Munich defender Justin Saw got to the ball of, like, a quality cross. Or, like, Messi hit the post when he whipped it in and 4 players, like, inches away from it each. But, I mean, after that, Bayern were just absolutely ruthless in how they played. Barca were trying to play out from the back, which it wasn't working, and it was so obvious it wasn't working. And the amount of times we're losing the ball and Bayern were just pressing them, it was infuriating to watch. It's like, how can't you see that this is such a major issue for you? Just stop doing it. But they persisted with it.
As the commentators were saying, ter Stegen never plays out from the back, and he was having to do it.
And he was shocking at it.
Yeah. But the thing is, if they didn't even have ter Stegen, it could have been worse. Because ter Stegen saved a lot. And it was... one of the best things for me, though, was the fact that Coutinho came on, because you can do that now with the loan players, could play the parent club in European football. He assists 1, and then scores 2.
I mean, that was beautiful. Beautiful scenes.
And as the commentator was saying, it's like, how is Coutinho not getting into that Barcelona side? Because it was the best player on the pitch was Ansu Fati when he came on. No one... Mm-hmm. Messi looked like he was just done.
Oh, Messi didn't care at all.
Griezmann was on the bench anyway. Suarez did a nice... He dropped Boateng and then slotted it away. Nice. But in terms of who actually scored the goals, Bayern Munich scored 9, because David Alaba's was probably the goal of the game.
What a chip.
Lovely finish. But where the Barcelona manager's got to be sacked.
Oh, well, he already announced before, I think even before the Champions League, like this knockout tournament we're in now, that he was going to be leaving. Yeah. So he's definitely going. I mean, this is just probably the worst possible way he could be going. I mean, like I said before, Pep's been linked today after last night. Xavi, Pochettino.
I think Ronald Koeman was one of the front runners as well.
That's another one, yeah.
If Xavi went, it wouldn't do any good for his, because it's too much of a task.
I think for any manager right now looking at it, it's almost too much, because you look at the last time they had the
average age is almost 30. When did they last make the final? When did it?
They beat Juve, didn't they? What year was that? Was that 2015, 16? I want to say.
Yeah.
Was it the year before, maybe? But yeah, I mean, you look at it though, and they need a major overhaul everywhere. And the last time they did something like that is when Pep came in. They got rid of like Eto'o, Ronaldinho, players of that caliber, and it was like, right, I'm going to start from fresh, concentrate on youth. And back then, it worked because they had so many great players coming from the academy. They had Xavi, Iniesta, Messi, all these amazing players, but their academy is not producing it now. So instead, they've been spending all this money in players. They spent 400 million on Coutinho, Ousmane Dembele, and Griezmann, and one of them's coming on to score against them, and the other two are sat on the bench. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't get where. Because the average age of the whole squad that was on the pitch, the starting 11, was almost 30, which for football is old.
Yeah.
And then Piqué even said they've hit rock bottom, and if he needs to leave, he'll be the first to leave to get the club where they need to be. Messi, I think. Messi's it looks like he's given up, but there's this whole thing every season. He's going to go and then doesn't. But he only has a few years at the level where he can influence the games as he does left. Yeah. Because as you saw with Bayern, whenever he had the ball, three were around him, clean tackles on him all the time. It just didn't work for him.
I mean, after obviously a few seasons ago, they had it against where they should have gone through, and everyone thought, they are going to go through. Then Roma, fantastic comeback, and then knocked them out of the Champions League last season. Yeah. Liverpool,
same again,
knocked them out of the Champions League. And then, I mean, 3 goals even though this isn't a two-legged affair like the other day, but to be humiliated 8-2, and it is completely humiliating. Like, I'm honestly actually questioning. I know it is Mr. Barcelona, whether he will stay.
He didn't influence the game because Bayern did have the plan of take her out of the game, which they did well. But you've got to, let's say this is a 2-legged tie, yeah? Technically, Barcelona, the home team, Bayern have 8 away goals. That's like, I know it's not at the new camp and with crowds and people will say, it changes. But if they play like that, even with people and watching, Bayern would still have walked through them. There's got to be something.
Yeah, I think there'd be a massive overhaul there. But my favourite thing I did see after the game was if Bayern win the Champions League, which will mean Coutinho wins the Champions League, Barcelona have to pay Liverpool €5 million. Which is absolutely brilliant.
I don't see how, as we'll go through the other 2 games, but with the teams left, I don't see how Bayern can't win it, but we'll go on to that.
Bayern were just fantastic. Like, obviously, we're talking a lot about Barca and the issues they have, but let's take nothing away. Like, Bayern Munich were unbelievable. Muller was fantastic.
It was the fact that there was 7 different scorers.
Yep.
For Bayern, everyone. Okay,
there's 8 different assisters.
Yeah.
As well.
All I would say 6 different scorers because Müller and Coutinho scored twice actually. But all I would say is, with Kimmich's goal, how good was Alphonso Davies?
I was going to mention it.
Honestly, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
All of them. Müller got, as did Coutinho, Müller got an assist and 2 goals. Perisic, the first goal when it was Lewandowski assisted, Perisic, Müller, Lewandowski, back to Müller, goal. Lovely play.
The link-up play, and that was unbelievable.
Yeah. It comes to show that that's them now. And then I know I'm a City fan, and I think Sane is great, but imagine adding Sane to that. They brought off Coutinho and Kings and Coman off the bench. Yep. Coman could have scored with his first touch. Coutinho was influenced 3 of the goals. Imagine Sane in that as well. Gnabry scored and played incredibly well. It's unbelievable.
I mean, you could honestly look at them and actually think they're going to dominate Europe for the next half a decade.
It's crazy to think, though, because Liverpool, when you beat them 3-0, silenced them. There was nothing. And that wasn't that long ago. And you're thinking, right, this Bayern Munich team, what's happening? Then in November of 2019, sacked their manager when they're sitting, I think, like 6th in the Bundesliga or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then the new guys come in and absolutely turn them around.
I mean, they were quite smart in how they did it, to be fair, because the guy in charge of now, Flick, they brought him in as the assistant manager under the former manager. So he already knew the structure of the club and the players quite well. So they were smart in how they did it, and obviously it's massively paid dividends because they've gone on to win the Bundesliga.
Yeah. That Bayern Munich in November may have even conceded 8 against Barcelona.
Oh yeah, completely different side.
Yeah. But I'm just looking at the match stats. They had 26 shots to Barcelona's 7, 14 on target. They had less possession though, but that's because Barcelona were always picking the ball out of the net and taking kickoffs. This stat got to me. So you know how Messi is always around the box, picking out the passes and everything. Attacking third passes, Barcelona only had 78. Bayern Munich had 153. Key passes, Barcelona 5, Bayern Munich 20.
Yeah, I mean, they just dominated Bayern in every department, really. Mm-hmm. But
it was... Yeah. Watching it, I was just like, what?
It's one of them games you'll look at in 10, 20 years and be like, what a game. I can't believe that happened. It's like similar to when Germany played Brazil in the World Cup.
That's what I was saying. When Müller scored the near post goal, when he ran near post and scored it, I said to my dad, this is literally watching the German team. Because I'm pretty sure Müller may have done a similar run to that. I think Götze I was just like, this is it. And it's just the fact that Müller has been around for as long as I can remember, and he doesn't stop. I think Müller's a class player.
Oh, I was speaking to my friend the other day when we were watching the game, and he was like, Müller must be 35 now. And I went, I'm sure he's 30. And then I Googled it, and he is. He's turning 31 in September, but he's one of them players that has just been around for so long.
He's turning into the Miroslav Klose of Müller, his generation, because he's a few years younger than Klose, but he's unbelievable. And it just goes to show that Lewandowski scored his 54th goal of the season, and we haven't even spoken about him.
He should win the Ballon d'Or. I know there's not going to be one this year, but he's been absolutely robbed of that. 100%.
We haven't even spoken about him, really, because everyone else, he wasn't overshadowed at all, but everyone gelled together to make just one unit that nothing went wrong. Even Alaba's goal, own goal, it got them 1-1, but even from that, they broke away and then scored again, and it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. But right, the Thursday game, Leipzig Atletico Madrid.
God, it was a bit boring, wasn't it?
It was, especially the first half. But
Atletico Madrid, I honestly couldn't be an Atletico Madrid fan. To think that Diego Simeone gets paid the most of any manager in the world. He's on over 40 million euros, which is twice as much as Pep, who's in second place for the highest paid manager. To play that style of football so poorly, and he gets paid that much money, it's just it's a bit of a joke, really.
It is.
It really is.
And then, the score was 2-1. First half, nothing really happened. Second half, almost scored with 5 minutes gone. It was a nice goal, to be fair. The cross was perfect. The header was nice. And then João Felix came on, and did he come on or did he start?
No, he came on.
He came on. Yes. And I don't know, he influenced the game. He did. He was running at people more, and he ran into the box, and then he got the penalty and he scored. It was nice, calm. But that was really it from...
Yeah, I mean, he definitely changed the way they were playing because he started to pick the ball up in areas like between the defence and midfield where they were struggling to get into. Because Costa and Llorente up front weren't doing anything.
This is the thing. Llorente, isn't he like a holding midfielder? I'm pretty sure.
Is it?
I thought he was like a holding midfielder or something.
No, I'm pretty sure he's a striker. Oh, no. It says here, plays as a midfielder or a second striker. So, I guess he's versatile in that role.
Yeah. But when I first saw the team, I was like, they're playing a midfielder up top. But again, Simeone. And then Leipzig did get a bit lucky with their second goal because they did take a deflection. But
I mean, isn't that the one where Sabitzer, though, picked it up in midfield and just did that beautiful pass out wide?
I'm pretty sure.
What a pass that was. That was absolutely unbelievable.
And then...
Wow.
2-1 win. And so Leipzig through to the semi-final along with Lyon and Bayern Munich. And then the first game...
I just quickly want to say on Leipzig, obviously, like, surprising, but their passing play, but bar their final pass for a lot of it, but like their passing in midfield was just unbelievable. Like, it's just your typical German high-tempo passing game. One touch pass it off was just phenomenal. And half the time, Atletico couldn't get anywhere near them.
I didn't think they would do it because of the loss of Werner. Because, he's just one, but he's been their striker and he gets them lots of goals. But they proved it and into the semi-final.
Fair
so
play. Just quickly on that, sorry, before we move on, Upamecano, what a performance from him! And if he doesn't get snapped up this summer, then I don't even know, because the way he played out from the back, like just dribbling past like four players and passing it off, was just absolutely phenomenal. And he rightly got the praise he deserved after the game.
So one of the semi-final ties, is Lyon Bayern Munich, and then Leipzig through. And then we go to the Atalanta PSG game. Atalanta got the first goal. It was a nice finish, lovely finish. But even after that, they started to tire. But PSG were playing as individuals. Neymar was the best player on the pitch.
Yep.
Until Mbappe came on. And it was only when Mbappe came on that Neymar decided to play quick passes, because Icardi and Sarabia did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. And it was odd to watch. And then, as we know, Atalanta were in the 89th minute, 1-0 up, and then the board goes up 5 minutes at a time. Then, I'm pretty sure just as the ball gets put down, Marquinhos scores.
Yeah.
1-1. And you could see Atalanta were tiring already. And then, because Mbappe was on, the speed and everything, and Neymar was like, I actually have someone that I can play 1-2 passes with. There's a nice little give and go. Mbappe does a give and go with Neymar, passes it across, and who's there?
Choupo-Moting. The Stoke reject, Choupo-Moting, is scoring in a Champions League quarter-final.
Not the world's most expensive signing. But what? I felt so bad for Atalanta because they came from game week 4 when they faced us in the group. They were bottom. They get to second in our group, and through their round of 16, get to the quarterfinals, score. Were tiring, but were defensively. Okay, they got a lot of yellow cards. They were stopping up the play. They were doing their thing, and then Mbappe comes on. To be fair, I thought they were going to hack him down, but they couldn't get near him. And then PSG score twice at a time, and they win 2-1. And it was
it's absolutely heartbreaking. But you have to. I mean, even if you look throughout the game, I only saw the highlights. I saw the last 5 minutes of the actual game when PSG scored the 2 goals, and then bar that, I just watched the highlights the next day. But Neymar dribbling phenomenal. He's finishing. Jesus Christ, he couldn't hit a barn door.
He could have had a hat trick. It was his 1-on-1 where he literally opens his body up, he's going to go bottom corner, and then just hits the billboard. I was like, what?
Yeah, it was very strange, but yeah, that's PSG through to their first European semi-final in 25 years.
I know.
So we've got 2 French teams and 2 German teams.
Yeah, we could have a French league game or a German league game, but realistically, I mean, we can't really say realistically because I said realistically, City will go and Bayern. But my predictions will be PSG will go through and Bayern will go through. I don't think Lyon can do what they did to us against Bayern Munich.
See, this is where it gets interesting, Wade. I'm bringing it out again. We're going for a bold claim FC. You love to see it.
I think PSG will be 2-1, probably a late goal again, and Bayern Munich 4-0.
Right, well, I'm saying, this is my bold claim one, I think it's going to be an all-German final. I think that Leipzig are going to beat PSG. I'm going to say 3-2, right? And I'm going to say Bayern v Lyon, even though Bayern could probably win about 19-0. I'm going to try and keep it, relatively nice. I'm going to say Bayern will beat Lyon 3-0, and I'm going to have an all-German final for the first time since Bayern Munich played Dortmund in the final.
That'll be... The thing is, I think I said my result because I want maybe a potential closer final in the sense, because if Bayern Munich and Leipzig, Bayern Munich obviously played Leipzig in the league and everything, could just walk through them.
Yeah.
But yes, it will be interesting to see. It will be very interesting. But I don't think anyone, regardless of who goes through that tie, I think it's Bayern Munich's Champions League.
Oh yeah, it's Bayern Munich's like cup to lose now.
Yeah,
definitely.
It was crazy. So when we went 2-1 down, we were still favourites to win against Lyon on some betting, and I was just like, how? How are we still favourites? I mean, if so, it would have.
Just don't speak about betting. You've just reminded me. I placed my first football bet in a long time on the Barca Bayern game. So I put £5.50 on because that's what I had in my account. I had what was it? I had Boateng to be booked. Got booked. I had Gnabry to score. He scored. I had Vidal to be booked, who did in like the last 30 seconds. Good on him. The only thing that let me down for £400, Messi to score. Who would have said that before the game? That was going to be the one thing to let me down. I was just like, it's frustrating. But that's betting.
It was an interesting week of football. So we've got tonight. We have the Sevilla Man United game.
Yep.
Which we've both said Sevilla will win it. Then on Monday, we have Inter Milan Shakhtar. We both said Inter. So we're saying the final will be Sevilla Inter.
Inter Milan, yeah.
And then Tuesday, Leipzig PSG. I've gone PSG, you've gone Leipzig. And then Wednesday, Lyon Bayern Munich. Both gone Bayern Munich. And the finals into the weekend.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. It should be very interesting.
Yep. But we'll be back before the finals. We'll be talking about how the semi-finals have panned out, whether our predictions were right, and whether my ball claim was paid off. Probably not. But anything could happen, as we know.
Did you know that it's the first time that neither English or a Spanish team has got to the semi-finals, since it's been 6-7 years. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's something even longer. I think it's something like 13 years since there hasn't been an English, Italian, or Spanish side. Yeah, I think that's like even longer.
It's absolutely crazy that for so long, England, Spain, and sometimes Italy have controlled Europe, and then Germany and France have suddenly. I mean, France. I'm going to say, a bit lucky.
No, Wade. Maybe we're the farmers.
We're the Farmers League now. We are the Farmers League. It's us.
It's us.
We've taken the title from them. We are the Farmers League. The most competitive and interesting league in the world is now the French League.
Well, I can't wait to start watching every game next season.
Well, I think we'll call it there just for a shorter one because there's not that much football going on right now that we could talk about. If there's any more transfers, then hopefully we'll have a little longer to talk about in the next one. But that's all from us.
Thanks for listening.
And see ya.
Speak to you soon. Bye.